Hello, advisors, and welcome to your March edition of the Advisor Monthly Update. With it being the end of the quarter, I thought we would do something a little different. I know many of you had questions about the General Assembly and Lambda Kai's financial model. So joining me today is Troy Medley, the CEO of Lambda Kai Alpha. Troy, welcome.
Hi, how you doing, Alan?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for joining this month's update for our High Pies and advisors. So Troy, let's jump right into it. Tell me, how are things going with Lambda Kai from your perspective?
Well, in almost every aspect, things are going to plan. We have 9,432 members as of today, which is about 6.6% increase year over year, 19% more members than we had in 2019. Our GPA is up almost a full point since 2019. Philanthropically, we're doing quite well. We should cross the 1,000 units donated for the Red Cross this month, which is 3,000 lives. We think we have a chance to get to 1,500 units this year. We again led all of our Greek compatriots with raising money for November, almost $100,000, a little over $96,000. 55% of our chapters participated. The Stead Leadership College is performing quite well right now. We have 537 men that have finished Learning Journey 1 this year, 273 finished Learning Journey 2, another 600 are in process, and we have about 300 badges that have been completed between Leadership Ready and the various functional. So, we're moving forward well. As you know, in December, we got some really bad news from the Marriott that kind of rocked our world, and we've been working ever since to try to figure out how we're going to manage a significant cost increase and help chapters along the way.
Yeah, and Troy, I think I've had a chance to speak to a handful of advisors about the Marriott price increase, but could you share a little bit about how that's played a role into the sticker price for General Assembly that I think has shocked many of us, and staff included?
Sure. Well, let me go back to the beginning. Lambda Kai Alpha is a C7 not-for-profit. We try to, just like a chapter, we try to spend as much money on an annual basis as we're going to make, because to retain your not-for-profit status, you have to spend revenues on mission. For the last 5 years, our average loss each year has been about $43,000, but we were able to sustain that loss and cover items like General Assembly, where we lost $300,000 in 2022 because we had a significant capital reserve on the balance sheet. Unfortunately, in the last 12 months, we've had 2 significant hazing incidents that are multi-million-dollar settlements, and our deductible is $1 million. We will have spent $1.3 million of our reserves because of 2 hazing incidents that happened at the chapter level. So the Marriott contract was signed in 2015. It was supposed to be concluded in 2022, but we had a year where we didn't have General Assembly, so it got kicked forward this year. And in it, and by the way, in all future contracts, our ability to negotiate limits on future price increases having to do with food, they just will not negotiate that. And for those of you that follows Consumer Price Index, it's up 14.5% since 2018. So all of that is being passed on to us, as is audiovisual. So it's going to be $600,000 more to deliver General Assembly this year in the same place as it was in 2022. We're going to be paying $150 for the chicken dinner during Saturday night's banquet. Now, what we're going to do going forward is we're going to go to less expensive locations, but we're also going to stop signing 6 to 8 year agreements. And we're just going to do 1 year at a time. That gives us the most ability to negotiate.
So, Troy, could you share a little bit about why this expense is initially being passed on to the chapters and what we're doing to help cover some of that cost?
Well, once again, we had to spend $1.3 million to cover 2 settlements where we have harmed our brothers by not living up to our values. That is money that is gone. And General Assembly is like $1.3 million that we pay for in August and September. So unfortunately, we have to pass some of that cost on. Now we're going to try to finance as much of it over time, the incremental. So for instance, we're saying we need $1,900 in by April 1st. Well, that matches what we asked. I think we asked for 1,700 in 2022. And then we're going to try to help the chapters pay for the incremental cost in our budget in the next year. So what that means is we're going to plan on spending about $200,000 less than we would have on team members, on programming, but provided incentives if chapters do what's in their own best interest by going through Ideal Man, by having their officers get certifications, by sending the right people. So setting themselves up for long-term success. And we can provide credits in the next year. And then I'm going to ask the Grand High Zeta if we could also then provide it into the next year so that the full increase could be covered. But it has to be covered over time because we're just like a chapter, right? We're utilizing every dollar we have to make this work. We thought about going virtual, but everybody we talk to, our alumni, our donors, our students, they want to have in-person meetings. So our hope is that there is no incremental increase to chapters. So between earning credits by utilizing programming, we're also fundraising heavy with the Educational Foundation. We partnered with our Learning Outcomes team, the Educational Foundation, and Barnes and Thornburg, a new attorney group that we worked with to figure out how do you turn being a GA delegate into an educational experience so that we can receive funding from the foundation. And there's a corporate governance certification now. It's, our students will have to do some work to get it, but if so, then the foundation can donate up to 57%. I believe it was 57, it might have been 51, but a little bit more than half of that expense. So if a chapter helps us fundraise, and there's so many alumni that want to donate, and if they get the credits, it's possible that they spend less than they did before. So yeah, there's a sticker shock to it. You can imagine the words that came out of my mouth when I got the news from the Marriott, right? So I understand the reaction that the advisors feel. I understand the reaction that the students feel. But when you are a leader and when you run a business, and every one of our Zetas is a small business, sometimes you have price shocks and you have black swan events, and our ability to role model how you manage that and how you handle that, I think is key, because this is what our members are going to experience when they're in the business community.
Absolutely. And it's so important at these conferences to be able to create connections, create network and community, and then learn the skills we need to move the organization forward while we're all together. So I'm grateful that you and the Educational Foundation are working to figure out how we can help reduce the cost and allow that to not be a barrier for the right people to go to the conference and get the right skills.
Yeah, and this is a little off topic, but this is an opportunity for us to create conference funds for every chapter, because we want to go back to doing regional conclaves. I want to start doing 3 to 4 Neville advisors colleges a year in different parts of the country. And we want to get to the point where we're doing at least 4 IRTs around the country, so we can help our chapters get better at performing our ritual. And with the cost of travel, the cost of hotel, everything going up, we're going to have to figure out a mechanism to help chapters, pay for this.
Oh, yeah.
Or, increase the endowment within the general fraternity so these things can be paid for.
No, all of that sounds amazing. I know the reason we all joined the Brotherhood is for community, and the pandemic put a big pause on a lot of that. So getting back to some practices that allow us to grow and learn together is something I think everybody watching this video will be excited for. Mm-hmm. And speaking of excitement, Troy, I know that there's a lot we've been talking about in the realm of advisor support and alumni enrichment coming down the pike. Could you share a little bit about what your vision is to help give more support for the local volunteers and the alumni at large?
Well, as we talked about at Neville Advisors College, we think that we've really improved in the last 5 years in terms of performance at the chapter level and programming. But I think we've eked out all of the improvement we can get with our traditional model. And I really like working with young folks, and they're going to play an amazing role in the future as high alpha training specialists. But we need to really ramp up the personnel and the support and the training and the tools and the community for our alumni volunteers, and really make that person the focal point of chapter operational support rather than the distant office of administration that isn't as familiar with things at the local level. So we're trying to go from more of a federal system to more of a regional system, and to do that, we need to have more people on your team, Alan. So the desired outcome is next year we have 4 people working with Alan directly with our volunteers, and we want to grow that over 3 years so that for every 25 high pies, there is a dedicated, full-time, professional, trained, mature support person that is able to help not just the high pie, but the alumni advisory board, the housing corporations succeed and help our men have the best experience possible. So it's going to be a significant shift in how we utilize resources, but I've done this for 5 years now. I think this is the only way we get where we want to go.
Right. No, absolutely. I think all of this sounds incredible. I can't wait to see what the future holds for Lambda Chi when we have supported advisors and enriched alums. Troy, thanks for joining me today to talk a little bit about the Lambda Chi model, the financial structure, General Assembly, how everything's looking up. And if you have any questions, please email me directly, and we'll see you next month. Thanks, Troy.
My pleasure. Thank you.